businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us on the Cindy Cochran Show. We're so excited that you're here with us today, and we're so excited that we still have our sponsor. We do, don't we? We still have, yeah. Chris Wootton, Wootton Financial Group. Those guys have been in and around Conroe for over 22 years now, I think it is. And they are still in the same place. And, you know, in Conroe, because Conroe is kind of a small town. I mean, they're huge, but they're cover a large area, but it's still that small town feeling. And if you do anything wrong, everybody's going to know about it. And if you don't live up to what you say you're going to do, everybody will know about it. So they're in the same place. They haven't been kicked out, and so we know that they're good. They're good guys, and you can depend on them. And I even use them. And if he puts up with me, he'll put up with anybody. And so because he finally talked me out of putting the money under the mattress. So I went, okay. And he says, let's watch this grow. I said, okay, we'll see if you can do it. That's okay. But you know how I am. If I have to come back and, you know, we have to have another meeting. Okay, no, we don't want to have another meeting, Cindy. So we'll work hard for you. But today we've got two guests. Usually it's just Richard. Now on Tuesday we're just talking about, you know, you ask me anything because I'm going to be 77 next couple of months, and Richard's like a baby, and so, but he thinks he knows everything, so it's okay. So with his confidence and my age and experience and all the stories I have to tell. Anyway, no, but he is, we make a good team, and he's so sweet. He's really kind, but people just don't get it because the way he talks to me. But no, he's a good guy, and we have two guests that are very special and have got great backgrounds. My goodness, I feel like I need to go out and join something. But we've got Roxanne, which we told you about yesterday. The Roxanne's going to be here, and now her cohort is Richard, and Richard is providing his side of what's going to be happening. You know all that's going to happen, right? Richard, you know everything that's going to happen. I could ask you anything.
Of course.
Yeah. But you're real glad that Roxanne's here to tell you if you missed something. Okay, so Roxanne, as well, she was in the Marines. In the Marines.
Yes, ma'am.
Good grief. I mean, that's like the toughest. I'm sorry. He's with the Navy, and so you just plug yourself. That's the toughest place. I mean, Air Force. I said Navy, Air Force. So y'all have got a really cool song. It's a toss up on which would be the coolest song from the Marines and but it's but you know, a lot of times when you go these events and they're honoring the vets and stuff like that, so they play those songs and everybody stands up and the hair just on your arm raises. It's just, if you are of any age over 70, you're going to react to that. You're going to cry or whatever, because it just reminds you all those people that fought for us. And what's interesting is that trying to get people to join was going down. They were having a hard time getting people to join the different services and all. And now it's like overwhelming. Said it has just changed. Everything has changed so much, and there seems to be so much more patriotism. And when you saw the celebration of life for Charlie Kirk, it was just amazing. I sat there, my jaw just dropped. I said, look at the people, look at these kids, look at everybody, and how and how excited they were. And so it was amazing. And just like a lot of people said, Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and it was horrible, and it was sad, and it was real that. But there was no riots, there was no burning down buildings, there was none of that happened after that. We just wanted to honor all the stuff that he was, that he was putting out there. And so the patriotism seems like it's alive and well. And do you guys see that? Do you feel that? Are you feeling that now you're 95?
Sam Houston Post 95
95.
out of Huntsville, yes.
Okay. And what's the 95 for?
That is just the number designated to us when we chartered in 1954.
Okay. Or we was trying to figure out, was that somebody's
And I'm
age
the-
or somebody?
the District 7 chaplain.
And you're the District 7 chaplain.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm kind of the spiritual leader for 14 posts.
No, sir, 17.
Or 17. We've grown a little
17 or 22, don't quote
For
me.
17
There's several of us in our district out here in East
Yeah.
Texas.
For 17 posts, you're the chaplain for them?
Yes, ma'am.
bit.
So-
I am their leader. So I work with and consult with the chaplains in each individual post.
Oh, okay.
So
And
I teach them how to be a chaplain because
Right.
I happen to be a licensed and ordained chaplain, but most of our chaplains in the American Legion are strictly just volunteers at a post level and are not trained. So what I do is go help them learn what they could be doing and how to do it and so on and so forth in the American Legion way.
okay, so there's not there's no like study rules or things like that you have to adhere to or have.
There are.
There are guidelines.
There are
There are, for
guidelines.
sure.
So they just go by these guidelines, and they don't have to have any kind of certification or
No,
No.
diploma or anything like
not
that.
to be a chaplain.
Not to be a chaplain. You just need to have a good listening, and
They have to have a spiritual life.
right,
And we call it spiritual because we are ecumenical.
right.
So we're not Christian, we're not Buddhist, we're not Zoroastrian. We are everybody
I hadn't heard that one.
under one umbrella.
Under one umbrella. Okay. Well, that's good if you can keep everybody dry. That's
Yeah. It would probably help to explain in brief. The American Legion does have a complete structure. We are
Yes.
the oldest national veterans nonprofit organization established in 1919. We actually are the organization that were the VA before the VA became federal. So how it works, you have a national and then a department, which means state level set of leadership. And then each state is broken out into divisions, and the divisions have districts, and districts have posts. So we definitely have a hierarchy. We definitely serve a constitution and bylaw that includes description of duties for each officer from the post level up to national. So Richard's job, really, literally, he's herding all of our sheep in our district.
wow. Yeah.
And
It's a
I
little
have
more than people think.
I have a manual that comes from the department, from the state level. That's 82 pages of how to be a chaplain in the American Legion.
Yes.
And now if
We're
you
a
can-
lot. We
if you
take a
can-
lot.
If you can quote that back to me, you're hired. So if I walk into any American Legion
Post.
post,
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
if I walk in there anywhere, go to San Antonio or go to, over to Oregon.
Oregon, yes.
Is it sound when I did that? That didn't sound right. Okay, so anyway, you go there. I can walk in, and it's the same rules, you're abiding
Yes.
by the same thing,
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
and
Yes, ma'am.
that's amazing. That is amazing. So, you have that level, and now you do things to raise money, or just
Yes.
raise money
Yes.
for the organization,
Yes.
and have people get fat and happy in
No.
the meantime.
No.
Oh, don't you feed them?
Well, with food is always a part of it. Like, if you're going to get the people to come, you have to have food. That's just how it is.
If you feed them, they will come.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. We get very motivated about food. And we have certain posts that are renowned for better cuisine than others. I'll just own it out loud for them. Shout out to Willis Post 618.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, you always want to go there and eat. We'll say shout out to Livingston Post 402. You always want to go there and eat. Sam Houston Post 95, our post, you want to come hang out with us when it's event time, because we just celebrate everybody who shows up, and we have a lot of fun.
And so you have fun. That's,
Yes.
Well, that's funny that you started talking about all that. I thought, wait, are y'all going to all have celebrations or, fundraisers all at the same time?
Oh no, they're staggered all throughout the year.
Okay.
Every post has the autonomy of scheduling the events they want to host, fundraisers they want to host. We share them amongst ourselves so that everybody kind of does the we'll come to yours, you come to ours, and help each other earn our goals system. We, in our district, we have a website, and I'm our hub master for it, so we share everything provided to me on there. So it's kind of like a community place to go to know what post is doing what. And then on the interim, we all are very aggressive on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So it's really communal. It's a lot of fun. The more media we build post by post, the more exposure it gets
Right.
overall.
Yeah. And you can tell your friends in the other posts that that we would be more than happy to promote something that's going on that they want to promote and
I
do
will
that.
do that. We have a great venue for that. Actually, this Saturday is our District 7 convention, so members and officers from all, whatever it is, 17, 22. Sorry, Terry, I don't know. We'll all be convening on Saturday at the Willis Post, and I will get some time to speak as a headmaster, so I'm definitely going to share that because, Richard is amazing since we first started talking. He'll share anything I send him, and he does it graciously, and that matters. We're all a nonprofit. There's no such thing as budget. It's can we vote? Is there money in the bank? Does someone want to donate? And it's not always easy to get some of the older community to understand why we need marketing and media. Well, because we want to survive. So,
Right. That's
you
right.
want people to come to your events, you want to earn money, but we also are always recruiting. We want all our veterans family members. The American Legion is a family organization. We have a home for everyone. The veterans, we're your legionnaires. We have the Sons of the American Legion, which are sons, grandsons, husbands of veterans. We have our auxiliary, which are basically spouses, daughters, and granddaughters of veterans. And then we have a juniors program too, which are your minor dependents of veterans, parents or grandparents. And the family vibe is huge right now. You were asking earlier, what are we seeing a resurgence of? We're seeing a resurgence of family participation. We're seeing a resurgence of Americanism and patriotism coming together as a family value. And in our house especially, we celebrate that family feeling. We've done a lot of, I would say, restructuring and reorganizing between who's holding office and what our membership looks like to the public, as well as what it feels like when you walk in our door. The biggest funnest change, Friday night karaoke. From 7 to 8, our juniors sing. All of our kids sing. And it's so fun, and it's such fun exposure for them. It's giving them a confidence-building platform.
Oh, sure.
It's giving an ownership. They know that's their window, and they take it. And it's really fun to know that you're not just, getting membership dues and preaching a purpose. You're actually living what it's supposed to do. And it's really great. That's where we're seeing the resurgence for sure.
Well, now, that's wonderful because that's
we're also seeing
everywhere
that
you see.
in the spiritual lives
Oh,
Yes.
of our members. That is growing amongst our members, but what I'm also seeing is that's becoming a drawing card for new members because they're looking for a connection to God, but they're not necessarily looking for it in a church.
Exactly.
Because they're
exactly.
non-traditional types of people. So the more things that we can do with that, the better. And that's part of what I do. I brought a lot of spiritual awareness and spiritual activity, not just to Post 95, because I was the chaplain there for almost 4 years,
Wow.
but also to the district. I visit all that I can of the district posts to encourage the use of our spiritual lives.
Yes.
In our Constitution, the preamble, the first words are for God and country. So we put God first,
That's great.
country 2nd, and everything else can fall in line the way that it should.
It'll take care of everything else.
Exactly. And what we're seeing is more and more chaplains who are like me. I'm licensed and ordained, so I do funerals, memorial services, I do marriages, I do recommitment ceremonies, I do all the religious types of activities that people often look for, but they don't have to leave the post to get it. They can get it within the post.
Right. Because it's, and you just don't ever tell them the secret that where two or more are gathered, that's church.
He's there.
Don't tell them that's church.
That's
because they think church is a is a building, and it's just, that's not
and
it.
it's not.
No.
It's but so many people have never read the Bible.
Right.
So they don't know what the Bible says, but the Bible never has said that a church is a building.
Right, that's right.
But then you look at other religious faiths. You look at Buddhism. I mentioned Zoroastrianism, even Muslims, and so on and so forth. They don't have their services necessarily in a building. They're outdoors. It's coming together in a faith life is important. And it gives us a connection to people. I think one of the things I get so proud of our post, 95, because that's where my membership is. If you're a member of our post or within our service communities, if you can't pay the rent, we will. If you're a veteran or a veteran family.
Oh, that's awesome.
If your car breaks down and you can't afford to repair it so you can go to work, we'll fix the car. We'll even help you buy a car.
If you're a veteran.
If you're a veteran.
That is.
You can't pay the light bill, we'll pay the light bill. So we raise a lot of money.
Oh,
as
sure.
Roxanne said. But that money is not primarily to feed you.
No, it's not ours.
It's to
for our
take
veterans.
care of you,
Right.
and to take care of your needs. Roxanne mentioned our juniors program. Our juniors don't pay dues.
No.
That's to help the family so that we can have the children involved in our activities.
Perfect.
For the young men, they don't join the juniors because juniors is girl thing. So the boy thing is we make them a part of our sons program. The sons program pays for the young boys. My grandson is a member of the Sons of the American Legion. My two granddaughters are members of the auxiliary program.
That's
so
cool.
it goes with what Roxanne is talking about.
Yeah.
It's all about and my number one priority, because my calling is from God, is family. And keeping families together, keeping families involved in doing things, and then helping them when they need it.
Well, I would, because I did production for so many different churches, and that's, and it was fun. And they never had a woman doing, working in that. And they were ordaining women to be ministers of different things. They wanted me to be minister of production, and I went, oh, that seems like such a heavy burden because I don't, I just got to get the volume right, and make sure they don't look weird and in focus and stuff. And I said, but it is, I would beg them, because what I knew was that if you would put the children on the stage in the beginning of the service and let them sing, let them read the Bible scriptures and things like that, you will double, triple your attendance, because they'll call their cousins, say, "Oh, she's going to be on the stage. She's going," and they'll bring them in because of that. And so they said, "Yes, but we need to get right to the service because we need to get that service over by an hour so we can beat everybody to Piccadilly, and it'll be no, Cindy, I don't think that it'll work." And I said, "Okay, all right. I don't want to bet, but if you just ever want to do that, then I will stand there and I will say, I told you so, because that's what you guys need." And so it took probably maybe 6 months, and because I did the videos and I put all of our members in the videos, and they just the members just loved watching themselves
That's
up
awesome.
on the screen.
Absolutely.
And so I said, "Do you see what that this kind of causes the interest in knowing what's going to be the sermons and all?" And they said, "Okay." So anyway, I had the kids. I videotaped the kids, and it was all about them. They did the whole video, and so the audience was sitting up front, and they said, "Look at all adults sitting up front with their cameras."
Yes,
And
to the
I said,
kids,
"That's
yes.
okay," because they want to see the kids, and so you're right. Letting children come in and having programs for the children and all that stuff does bring in, everybody. And I think that's wonderful. Y'all are so smart. That's good.
It's that saying that we have, so many of us have said for so many years. I know Roxanne says it. Where the children go, the parents follow.
That's right. That is so true.
So if you can get the kids, you got the parent, because how the kid going to get there?
That's right.
It's a no-brainer. And I'll tell you,
Isn't
our
that what
juniors-
Hitler said?
Oh, no, don't go there. No.
Get the kids
Our
first.
juniors are amazing. They really, really are. I've been blessed in that the roles that I've held at the post and district and even state level have got to celebrate the heck out of them. And they're salty. They're raised by salty, grumpy veterans. You take one of our juniors to Home Depot or to HEB. They're at the register going, "And where's your veterans discount? And did you serve? And what do you know about folding the flag?" On it. They're not learning that in school. They're learning it because we're old and salty and grumpy, and that's what we're talking about,
Right.
But, on the flip side, they have their own ideas about what does their growth look like. What do you want to be when you grow up in the Legion?
Yeah.
Our juniors can tell you, and it's fabulous. Some of them want to be officers. Some of them want to go to Congress. Some of them just think it would be cool to run the canteen and get to eat whatever they want. But they have ideals, they have thoughts, and they have feelings, and they have intention. Our juniors of their own accord have done some amazing things in the community where we go, "Wow, we didn't even know. Send us photos. Let's profile that." Like writing cards and sending them overseas to troops for Valentine's Day and at Christmas. Our juniors go to their nursing homes and the older community homes where the veterans are. They're delivering cards. They're delivering care packages.
Awesome.
When they sing their hearts out. Like they know that's their hour, and they take it, and they've got their whole own schedule for who's singing what, and they monitor themselves. They asked us permission as the Legionnaires for dirt. Literally, they asked for a part of dirt on the post, and they made their own victory garden. And it is professional grade. When you let them, they will, and the more
Yes.
we can empower and teach, the more they're going to share it around. They go to school, and their show and tells are very different than everyone else's. They did something in the dirt. They volunteered on an event. They were out in the community. They did a field trip, and they got a reward for that. And they celebrate it at their own level, and they're their own peer market for recruiting. I'm telling you, they're their
of
own
course.
peer
Can you imagine
market.
other
It's
kids
phenomenal
going,
what they
well,
do.
Well, what did y'all do? Well, we about 3 hours of games. We did that. Does that count? And so to get them out off the couch, out of the bed, and outside is that's tremendous.
And they have their own officers.
Yes.
So
yes, that's important to mention.
All three of my grandchildren are officers in the juniors program.
They have their own bank
So,
account. They choose their own fundraising.
Ooh,
They vote.
that's great.
They vote where they get to spend their money. So they're also learning fiscal responsibility as well.
Do you teach them how to
and
put gas in the
Roxanne
car?
Gets to
Yes, actually, Aiden can.
yeah,
That's
Our commander's girls definitely can.
yeah.
if I couldn't believe, after going to school and looking back on the things that they taught us, and they never taught us how to fill out a checkbook, and the other is, I said, but here's something that's really important. Is like when you flush your commode and the thing doesn't go, nothing goes down, water doesn't go down. You need to teach them to take that top off. And the thing is unhooked, how to hook that back. And they go like, "I'm not going to talk about that commode in my classroom." I said, well, then you're not teaching them practical, life skills.
Exactly.
Because then they're going to stand and go like, "Oh, I broke it. I
No.
broke so many things.
No, we let our juniors be hands-on with everything. We are coming
See,
up.
that's good.
We're coming up on the start of our work parties this will be our 3rd annual Fall Festival and Haunted Hayride. Our juniors are part of the work party. Our juniors paint. Our juniors build. They use screw guns. They use hammers. They use nails. They use sawzalls. They come and do whatever we want to expose them to come and do. And that's just all part of being a self-sufficient human being. You know,
See,
we
and-
teach those things too. It matters that we know that the generation we're raising
Yes.
is going to graduate successfully and go on successfully as an adult. And that right there solves so many problems
Parents-
societally.
And we teach them to incorporate spirituality.
Yes.
So that one of the things that I instituted a couple of years ago, and we've really gotten good at it now, is every event that we do, whether it's juniors or adults, we start it with prayer.
Yes.
So I've even had juniors come up to me and say, Mr. Richard, because that's what they call me, are you saying the prayer at our thing Saturday? Yep, I'll be there.
Oh,
So this is so important because we're instilling good habits and
Right,
proper
right.
habits and ways of living in our kids. You know, Roxanne, she has an advantage over me. I have to do mine a post at a time or a person at a time. She gets to brag on all our social medias.
All of the
Our
time.
juniors program is the #1 juniors program in the state of Texas.
and it's because of Roxanne, right?
No.
No.
No. It is
It's
because
because
of the hearts and minds and these little people whose parents are
Yes.
engaged veterans
And
and
not
just
want
them.
them to do more in the Legion.
But there's so
and the
many
community.
in our post who are involved in working with our youth,
Yes.
and they're all required to have a clear background check done.
Oh, right,
That's
right.
an American Legion policy from the
Sure.
department
That's
and the
great.
national. That they go through a background check, so we make sure that they're appropriate to be with kids and everything. Everything that we do then teaches them,
Right.
and they learn those things, and then they expect those things.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
See, that's so much better. There's so much that you're instilling in those kind of principles into their life that they can, they can say, well, teacher, that's not exactly right
They do.
because and that's.
They do.
I think that's what we're seeing a surgence of is that the kids are going like, I got a voice.
Yes.
I've got a voice, and I understand stuff. It's just best if they're taught from the people that are just there for their soul's sake, and
Yes.
and make sure that it's done correctly. And right now, parents have their ear glued to the sets, going like, now where can I find out where my kids could do all those things? What can I do? Do I have to be a vet? Does somebody in my family have to be a veteran?
We can answer that, and it's
Yes.
actually easy. Yes, the American Legion is a veterans nonprofit organization. It is volunteer membership, so we are private. You do need to be a member, and the simple answer on vetting: if you are a veteran with an honorable or general under honorable discharge, you can be a Legionnaire. If you are a wife or daughter or granddaughter or husband of a female veteran, you can join the Legion. If that veteran is also you can join the Legion Auxiliary if their veteran is deceased or a current Legionnaire member.
So you can't if they're deceased.
You absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely you can. And it's the same thing for the Sons of the American Legion. That is the male descendants of veterans. So if you're a husband of a husband who's a veteran, we have a home for you. We don't discriminate. If your dad or stepdad or grandfather were a veteran and you want to be motivated and join, you come and be a son. And then it's the same criteria applies. If your veteran you're related to is alive, they need to be a Legionnaire, and then you can be a son. If they're deceased, you can still be a son. They have vetting criteria. The best way to learn and to know what to do is take a look at our website or at the Department of Texas American Legion website. Very simple address, texlegion.org. Everything you need to know is there.
.org.
TXlegion.org.
That is easy. That's what I
Yes,
like
ma'am.
about Texas. And you put TX and you have to write it out. I'm just so glad I'm not going
the
somewhere.
key is, in order to be a part of our family, you have to have a history in service to the country in uniform.
There you go.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's the real key. For years, I've been a Legionnaire for 21 years now, I think, a long
I think
time.
21 or 22. It's there.
And I didn't know until a couple of years ago that I could also be a son. Because military service in my family goes back 7 generations.
Wow.
You know, men serve in my family, but also women. My aunt, one of my mother's sisters, was one of the first women in the Women Air Corps. So we serve even our women like Roxanne, and in my family, our women have also.
Now, see, so does
served.
that keep you from having any kind of prejudice against a woman pilot or anything like that? It's just like,
Well,
there's
I don't know what I call prejudice or not prejudice.
Well, like
I
say-
know that I have preferences on who I want to carry a rifle with on the front line.
Yes.
I agree with that. I certainly
Okay?
agree with that.
But to say that a woman can't fly a plane, well, one of our top aviators in the Air Force is a woman. And she was the first one to fly an F-35, which is one of our most sophisticated
The new,
aircraft.
oh, yeah.
So women have done so many things. You know, the women astronauts that you see are typically in the Air Force.
Yes.
You know, so for people to say women can't this and women can't that, I say there are things that women are better at doing than other things. Put them where they're best suited, but it's the same thing with men. I don't want to be on the front line. I was in security forces in the Air Force, so I actually had to shoot my gun, my rifle. And there wasn't every male that I wanted to be up there doing that with.
Are
Seriously.
marching behind you?
Well, I didn't even want them there. I wanted them back on the base.
Seriously. Seriously.
It is. It's seriously. She's a combat veteran. She can tell you the same thing. You don't just put people there because
I don't need to be where I don't need to be, but I'm definitely going to be where I belong.
Right. Yes.
It's really that simple.
Well, it's the
we don't view
It
it as
is.
discrimination. We view it as a better tool for the job. If
Or
you're an enlisted
practicality.
personnel,
I
you're
mean,
a tool.
there's a practical way of looking at it without it being anything to do with, like whether you're a
100%
woman or
yes.
a man. And
Exactly.
but men are built differently, and in most cases, they're built differently than a woman. So you got to give to them what they could do, what they can handle, and what a woman can handle. Because the men, I mean, our system of nurturing and our system of being able to get okay if something really happens, and we don't all fall down and start crying if something there's an emergency.
No.
Because you've been through it all with the kids and stuff. You learn it's going to be okay. And just drink some water and it's going to be okay. But that's about how you get. And because you've been to the doctor so many times, every time a little something happens, you go to the doctor and you come back and you go like, I just spent $50 and I could have just given him an aspirin. Okay. And so you don't know when and where things can go. But there is a part where it's like stand back and go like, I think you're going to be best suited for this. I just feel like that's your nature. You're a strong woman. You could put up with stuff, and you're not going to let people run over you and all that. And he's going to be compassionate, and he's going to be able to explain to them why they need to get off the roof now. There's no jumping, and there's things that you could do, and that you've got a very compassionate face, like come here, it's going to be okay, and I'll calm down. And so you see that in people, and you go like, okay, let's put you there. And if you don't work out there, then if you flip out, then the first time that you're there. But I think it's
probably
just
not for you.
it's probably,
See, I say all
there's
the
a
time.
canteen waiting for you.
Right? Yeah, seriously. No, I say all the time, I'm blessed that I'm a United States Marine, especially as a lady Marine, because that's all we build in the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps is very unique. Are we cultish? Yeah, I'll own it. We are, but we're just built uniquely. We're built a way, and our way is unlike every other service's way. But all we build are Marines. Literally, really. You were blessed as a female Marine. That's what we build. Marines. I'm doing everything at 5'1" and 110 pounds that Joe Blow from, Midwestern Football USA at 6'2" and 240 is doing. So when we come together after boot camp and in service on a base and look at each other, equality is already established. We are blessed with being broken out into specialties, really literally. Do I want a rifle and be frontline fighting? No. Do I want Joe Blow Football America? Yeah. But guess what I get to do while he's doing that? Everything else that supports his operations. You can flourish and thrive in an environment just as equally, and it doesn't always have to be discriminative or sexist. This whole stigma about women shouldn't be in combat, well, guess what, America? We are. We have been since World War I. We are. Because who do you think is doing all of the things when all of our men are fighting forward? Yes. We're the support. We're driving vehicles. We're flying supply planes. We're flying helicopters. We're keeping everyone fed and watered at camp. We're making sure there's the services that we need to support the combat.
And we're not going to faint at the sight of blood.
Absolutely, we don't. And sometimes we do shoot back, and we think it's really fun, so don't knock us.
That's right.
And one of the things that I enjoyed about the military, and I was in a couple of days ago, my service was 1974 to 1976, Vietnam era.
Yes.
And
wow, that was
the beauty was, when I went to boot camp, we call them technical instructors because we're the Air Force, so we have to be a little different. My technical instructor, or whatever you want to call him, drill instructor or whatever, was a former Marine. He did 16 years in the Marine Corps, several tours of duty in Vietnam, etc. And he said, I want to be, an instructor and bring in the recruits and train them. There wasn't a place for him to do that in the Marines, so he left the Marines and came over to the Air Force to do his last 4 years to retire training. He trained us and me in particular, and a couple of others that I've kept in touch with over the years. He trained us in things that we needed to be able to do as security forces.
Yes.
See, in the Air Force, we call them security police, but what we are the Air Force's version of the Army and Marines.
That's
we actually
true.
carry M16s and protect everything.
But when he came in, did he teach everybody how to make sure that they make that bed, tuck that?
Oh, absolutely.
In?
Absolutely.
Look, if you can't flip a quarter, you fail.
One of the funniest things I've never forgotten.
I still do that. It's not that funny.
We're in the Air Force, so we're supposed to be these uppity yada yadas.
You are.
And you all march around the base and do cadence calls. And our particular unit under Senior Master Sergeant Scouton, that was his name, he taught us that we were tigers, and what we did was we killed. And we would march around the base, and people are looking at their Air Force. Why are they saying these things?
Because that is what the Marine Corps does. We bring that.
When you joined your unit overseas,
this is where it's hard.
That became very important.
Sure.
Because now that's what your unit is.
It's
and
real.
Now it's real business. If somebody tries to attack that base, we're going to take care of it.
That's right.
Well, that's what we do so much of, and it's one of the things I love so much about the American Legion, is our posts are a place where veterans in particular can go and talk about these things.
Because they
get to be
can't,
a
how
veteran
hard
in
it
that
is for
house.
them to talk about anything like that
Yes.
after they serve.
So
They don't want to talk
each
about
other.
it.
We want
but
to
they
talk
want
to
to talk to each other.
And so we can sit down, and even though I may not have been in a country that Roxanne was in or did the things Roxanne did, but I know what she did.
Yeah.
And she knows what I did.
Yep.
And we can talk about that and release those pent-up
Sure.
emotions and things.
Oh, yeah.
It's why
That's-
we encourage so much. We meet veterans all the time. I met a new veteran this morning. And unfortunately, he doesn't live in Huntsville, so I couldn't recruit him to
Dang
Post
it.
95. He lives in Willis, so he was recruited to
Willis.
Willis Post. But after he talked with me for a while, he realized I belonged there because
Yes.
that's my home.
Yes.
That's where I can talk about these things that nobody else understands.
Yeah.
And it's the beauty of what we do, and it's in teaching that camaraderie, because that's what we call each other, comrades.
That's right.
In the American Legion, we're also teaching our youth the importance of camaraderie.
Right. And that's so important because it will help get the veterans out of the woods
Yes.
and bring them back and not to be so isolated.
Yes.
And that's,
I have
that
found
also.
being a mental health professional, I'm a licensed professional counselor. My doctorate is in
What are you not?
clinical mental
Right?
health. Huh?
I said, what are you not?
We say that. We say that all the time. We do.
And, one of the things that I have found in my work, I've worked with a lot of veterans with PTSD. They don't always need medications and all these special medical things.
No.
What they need is a place where they can talk
Yes.
and
yes.
share the traumatic experiences and realize I'm not alone.
Right.
Others
right.
have experienced it too. And we can heal each other and get well.
So on
That's
that,
the important.
I'm going to shout out our post commander, Ryan Lang, right now. Ryan is probably the youngest commander we've had at our post going back to 1954. He is in his 30s, and he is a global war on terrorism Iraqi vet, and he is full-time disabled from traumatic injury during combat deployment. Ryan has done some really amazing things because he's young and energetic, not salty like we are yet. There's hope for Ryan. Ryan is on it in his energy and momentum right now. And what he's done is our post hours have changed. Our doors are open at our post in Huntsville from noon until midnight, Monday through Friday. From noon until 1 a.m. on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday.
Oh,
Ryan
that's awesome.
lives close by to the post. Our commander in his age group and with his momentum and vitality takes evening shifts. Any night almost during the week, if his girls are in the house in bed, he walks next door. He's on the late shift. Because we've left those doors open, veterans will come in from all over 10 p.m., 11 p.m. He's extended the doors open and locked up and been in there his own self. He's exemplary in what we do as veterans serving veterans. And that is critically important. A lot of us, veterans don't sleep. A lot of us don't sleep. You forget how because you're enlisted. You don't trust it because you've been to combat if you're a combat vet. And then as we age out of our years in service, we still carry the habits and the mentality of never really going to rest. Ryan turned our post into a mental and emotional pace of rest in those late night hours. And that matters. A lot of people don't understand that the American Legion is not just a weekend spend your money with us place or that one day once a month they feed me place. We are a 24/7 veterans place, a house of veterans serving veterans, and that's really important to note. We have many posts that aren't blessed with brick and mortar the way we are at Post 95, but they're still blessed with membership that's available in the community.
Right.
And they use resources like their local Masonic Lodge or their local library or community, recreation room or a space in a senior home where they can rotate their members and be there. We all promote that. We are veterans serving veterans. We want you to walk in the door. Membership is not first. It's necessary, but it's not first. How
Right.
you're doing and how you feel when you walk in our door to talk about that demon that's haunting you in that moment, that's what's first. And if there's one thing to be passionate about, in the American Legion, it's that. I would be a 22 a day if I hadn't decided to get active.
Yeah.
My Legion made sure I was not a 22 a day. That's a personal, private battle. We don't forward that. We don't celebrate that. But the American Legion campaigns be the one. This is what we're talking about. It's boots on the ground. Be the one. Be the one that recognized someone's ailing, and if they had a purpose, they might not go home and hurt themselves. I'm walking proof of that. Since, the end of 2021, I've progressively increased how I serve and what I do and how I share my story, because this is the real nuts and bolts of the American Legion.
That
We are literally keeping each other alive. We take it that personal. And if you're in a community and you're listening right now and you're a veteran or you're a family member to one, and you have that way, you have anything going on with you where you don't feel safe in your own skin, come to us. Find a post and go, because this is what we're here for.
because you're understanding. And
We're
that
living
you're-
it. We're
Yeah,
walking
and
it.
you are living it. And that's because most people do not, they just can't understand. You know why? Because they weren't there. They
Yes.
didn't go through that fear
Well-
and all that you guys went through.
One of the things that you learn and is drilled into you from the not the moment you signed the contract.
No.
It's from the moment that you go to the AFI station
Yes.
and put that hand up. It's service before self.
Yes.
Because when you take the oath to serve your country, you take an oath to die, not to live.
To die.
And a lot of people don't understand that. We took an oath to defend our nation. And we said, if it takes giving my life, I will give my life. I'm 100% disabled because I was willing to give my life. I'm an Agent Orange survivor. I've had 7 cancers. I'm still here. And I'm still pumping. I'm still serving. We have a saying that we say all the time, and sometimes we have to remind each other, it's service
not
before
self.
self.
Yeah, and God's not through with you.
That's right. He's not.
No.
Because
let you
now
know.
that I'm fighting the most current cancer, my newest cancer was diagnosed officially last July,
Yes.
and I've had to go through so much. If my post wasn't there to help me and my wife get through this, I don't know how we would have got through. Because that's our family.
Yes.
Because
yes.
my biological family, the closest member lives about 1,100 miles from here. Well, that's family, but my post
We're family.
is 10 miles from me.
Yes.
And
Perfect.
many of the members of my post live in my area where I live.
We hang
So-
out at his winery.
I
And
own a
his
small
what?
winery.
His winery.
Yes,
but we
ma'am.
take care of each other because it's service
Yeah.
before
self.
self.
Yeah.
We give, and in giving, you receive.
That's
One
right.
thing I want to say, we discredit, I think, a lot in the military community the hardships that you go through as a spouse or a child. So
Yes.
let's just talk about that for just a minute, because
Yeah.
I'm sure there are some of you listening. And if you're, a younger spouse and your husband is active duty or guardsman, they deploy. Guardsmen deploy too. Guardsmen go all over doing the things our armed forces can't do because they're not home. They're serving the overseas purposes, right?
Right.
What the American Legion does is say, this is why we have an auxiliary. This is why we have a sons. If you are the spouse of an armed forces person and that spouse deploys, guess what? You deployed too.
Yes.
You deployed too. You're doing everything home side. So you are the state support and operations in your household while your spouse is overseas serving. It's hard. It's lonely. It's disruptive. It's a challenge. And, I think that the American Legion does the best job of saying, hey, we have a home for you too. And that matters. When you are a spouse, you are also serving. You're also deploying. You're also an American. You're also being a patriot because you're supporting a tool of the United States of America to keep
That's
our borders
right.
safe.
And so when her husband comes home, she's going to say, I need a raise.
Yes, and she should.
My wife's dad served for 32 years in the United States Air Force.
Wow.
And they traveled all over the world
Yep.
following him to the places that they could go. And it was all the support mechanisms that were in place my wife talks about all the time that made it possible for
Yes.
them to have dad gone for 18-month tours and know that he's in a combat zone, and he was where he could have got killed
Oh, yeah.
because he was a bomb loader. He was a munitions specialist. Well, the enemy wants to take them out.
Right.
First and foremost.
You know, and so, you know, it's one of the beauties for me is being married to someone who came from a military family, who understands me
Sure.
and some of the things that I go through and I experience. And, you know, that's what we as Legionnaires are there to do for those who don't have that family support or that community support, but they have us. And
Yes.
we are an important distinction, and I'm like Roxanne, those of you out there who are listening who are saying, do you really want me?
Yes.
All you have
we
to
want
have
you. Yes.
is a member of the family who served. We are not like other organizations where you had to be a combat veteran or you had to serve in this campaign or that. If you served at any point in time, you're eligible for membership in our organization.
And if your parent or grandparent served,
We
you're
want you.
also
Our auxiliary
eligible.
and
Yeah.
sons want you.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
have a
that's-
home
We
for
want
you.
you.
We value you.
That's
You know, and another thing
awesome.
that's fair to say, we are a national organization, and we also even have global posts.
Yes.
You can join in your hometown, and anywhere you go nationally, if you've got your card in your pocket, you can go to any other post and participate and hang out and have that camaraderie and stay connected. We don't discriminate. Once you join the family, you're part of the family. And that matters a lot if you're the military family side of the Legion, because every so many years you're changing duty spaces while your spouse is enlisted. You don't have to continually change your home post. You can join and contribute and be welcome whatever post is closest to you.
See, that's that's
We
great.
are a full-time family support services for our
Absolutely.
veterans.
So
And we are the first veterans organization that was
Yes.
established
1919.
1919, and we're established by Congress.
Yes.
So we aren't just an organization who jumped up one day and said, we're going to do this.
No. Our national commander.
Congress got involved and chartered us.
Yes.
That's
So
great.
Our
And-
national commander is on the floor of Congress a few times a year speaking on behalf of veterans' rights.
Yeah.
The American Legion got the PACT Act pushed through.
Yes.
When the government shut down a few years ago and the Coast Guard was not getting paid, the American Legion paid their salary.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's,
my
great.
ability to become a 100% disabled veteran was due to the PACT Act,
Yes.
because the original legislation that took care of the Vietnam soldiers who were inflicted with Agent Orange did not cover us unless we were in Vietnam. Even Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, they were not covered in the original legislation. And so it took new legislation to be enacted that covered all of us. That includes, a lot of people don't know, Agent Orange was largely produced in Florida.
Yes.
Well, the veterans who served there during that time are now covered. It was also utilized in South Korea. Those veterans are now covered because the American Legion stood up and said, you got to take care of all of us. And so when the American Legion was founded in 1919, one of its major purposes, and still is legislation to serve our veterans. It's why we have the GI Bill of Rights and all
Yes.
these things, not the other veterans groups. It was the American
Legion.
Legion.
Well, now, is everybody going to get to meet y'all if they come out to this October?
Oh, I'll be there all day October
Yeah,
11th.
I'll
Absolutely.
be there for part of the day.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
that'll be the big draw, is
Yeah.
they can come out and
Meet us.
say, yeah, meet y'all.
I love meeting our public. I love having community at our posts. I love it when we can pull permits and open the doors and let the public just come and see and experience what we are, what we stand for, where our passions lie, and really honestly what we're literally doing physically.
Yes.
You know, not a lot of nonprofit organizations can say they're truly nonprofit. Well, we are. Our records are transparent and public going back to the 40s and 50s. You can see what the American Legion does with the money it's earned and how the majority of it goes right back out for veterans programs and services.
Well,
and that's prideful.
Yeah, and it sounds like everything that you're going to be taking in is certainly going to help the veterans. And
Yes,
so
it goes right back out to the veterans community and
And
That's
we
awesome.
we are real big. If you have an idea, something that you would like us to do that will help veterans, we'll say, great, you lead it and we'll help you.
And you'll help. Okay,
Yes.
here's the deal.
All right.
We have to, right now, I have to cut it off. Cut you off. Okay, get ready in 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. And
Every week, people ask the same two questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these two questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, one-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process of helping their clients to a clearer financial future and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran's show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952 or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from Game Plan Advisors, Wootton Financial Group, or any of their representatives.
Did you know that there are over 153 million orphans in the world today? The sad reality is 99% of those kids will likely never be adopted. Core Love is an organization right here in Conroe that takes care of orphan children in Haiti, Honduras, and India. We bring the love of Jesus by